Hello, and welcome to the 2020 National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony. Thank you for joining us by watching this video. Although we cannot celebrate our inductees in person today, we look forward to having them complete this ceremony by signing our St. Andrew's School National Junior Honor Society book when we are able to return to campus. The National Junior Honor Society was founded in 1929 to recognize and encourage academic achievement while also developing characteristics essential to citizens in a democracy. These ideals of scholarship, leadership, service, citizenship, and character remain as relevant today as they were in 1929. The students being inducted today have met all of the requirements to become members of the National Junior Honor Society. These students have maintained an overall GPA of 90% or above, starting from their 6th grade year. They have distinguished themselves as leaders and model citizens of excellent character. They have volunteered their time and talent in numerous community service projects, and despite some of their projects being canceled or postponed due to COVID-19, they as a group managed to perform over 350 hours of service this year. Some of the ways this group of students have helped their communities are by packing food for people who are food insecure, by serving residents at assisted living facilities, by creating sleeping mats for the homeless, by caring for animals at shelters, by mentoring children, by participating in mission trips, and by contributing to the success of cultural events in our city. To our inductees, understand that you have a responsibility to serve and an obligation to set an example for our school community. In other words, as members of the National Junior Honor Society, you are expected to represent qualities identified 90 years ago of scholarship, service, leadership, citizenship, and character. It is at this time that we proclaim to all watching that membership in the St. Andrew's School chapter of the National Junior Honor Society has been earned by these candidates through the effective demonstration of the 5 qualities that serve as standards for the society. Current members of the chapter will now review these qualities. Our speakers will share some of the remarks our inductees wrote when reflecting upon their contributions as leaders and citizens of excellent character, both in the classroom and in the greater community. We begin with scholarship.
Scholarship denotes a commitment to learning, and it represents a willingness to spend hours reading, writing, and studying, knowing the lasting benefits of a cultivated mind. This year's inductees wrote that scholars love to learn new things, and they seek the answers. They love exploring new ideas and often get so excited that they delve deeper into topics than they anticipated they would. Our inductees regularly set goals for themselves and make step-by-step plans so they can achieve these goals. In their reflections, they wrote about the importance of getting a good night's sleep, staying calm in the face of adversity, maintaining a positive attitude, focusing in class, and remaining flexible and open-minded when solving problems. Our inductees wrote that working with others effectively has played a pivotal role in their academic success, and they seek help from teachers, advisors, and parents when challenges become too big to face independently. Many of our inductees also discussed the importance of organization and time management. They wrote that the work they do now will set them up for success in the future. Our next speaker will discuss community service.
A resounding theme that emerged from our inductees' reflections is that doing community service often leads to inward contemplation and a change in perspective. Several of this year's inductees wrote that they hadn't realized how great the community needs were until they began volunteering. Once they began volunteering, they learned a lot. They learned that younger kids really do look up to them, that many people go without food on a regular basis, and that even in our small city, there are thousands of abused and neglected animals. Some of our inductees wrote that initially, they didn't think that anyone would want their help, but once they began looking for opportunities, they realized that many organizations needed their assistance. They learned that they can contribute in meaningful ways and that their time and talents are valued. In addition, they wrote that volunteering can be fun and educational. They reflected on the new connections and friendships they forged while doing community service, and they discussed the skills they developed. They wrote that their experiences have made them more grateful for what they have, and community service has become something that they want to do, not just something that they have to do. Our inductees have been inspired to continue serving their communities in the future, and many of them wrote that they can't wait for organizations to reopen so that they can begin helping again. Our next speaker will discuss leadership.
This year's inductees wrote extensively about what it means to be a successful leader, and the many different ways that a person can serve as a leader. Leadership does not always have to be loud or showy. Sometimes those who are quiet can be the most effective leaders. Further, our inductees understand that leadership can be exercised in big and small ways. For example, just answering a question the teacher asks can make a student a leader. They wrote that leaders don't just tell people what to do, they model good behavior and strong work ethic. They help people who may be struggling, and they communicate clearly with kindness. They are inclusive, and they support their classmates and teammates. Leaders are active listeners who are willing to collaborate to come up with creative solutions, and they are willing to take turns. They are resilient, they are responsible, and they can be trusted. Our inductees also reflected on the importance of not following the crowd. They stand up for what they believe in. Finally, our inductees wrote that leadership is not always easy, and it is something that has to be practiced and developed. Our next speaker will discuss citizenship and character.
Our inductees were also asked to reflect on citizenship and character. Several of them wrote that the two go hand in hand. To be a good citizen, one must have good character traits, and people of good character make good citizens. They wrote that good citizens make positive contributions to their communities. They help others in need and do community service regularly. They are honorable, truthful, and trustworthy. They act with integrity and are kind, responsible, and respectful. Good citizens have high standards for themselves and work hard to achieve their goals. One inductee wrote, "At St. Andrews, it is our job to be upstanding citizens, not only in the classroom, but outside as well. Whether it be during a sport, home, or away, being positive and having a good attitude is how we can represent ourselves well and the school." Other inductees commented that good citizens are upstanders who lend a helping hand when they see someone in an upsetting, bad, or tricky situation. They put themselves in other people's shoes. For example, one student wrote, "I like to make people feel welcome at school because I know how difficult it can be to come to a new school and not know anyone. Further, good citizens respect the rights of others, keep up on the news, follow the law, and educate themselves about the world around them. People with good character," they wrote, "put others before themselves." In addition, our inductees noted that citizens don't have to be perfect. They can make mistakes, but they always take responsibility for their actions and apologize when necessary. Thank you and have a great day.
At this time, we will hear our inductees recite the National Junior Honor Society Pledge.
I pledge to uphold
the high purposes of the National Junior Honor Society,
to which I have been selected.
I will be true to the principles for which it stands.
I will be loyal to my school
And will maintain
and encourage
high standards
of scholarship, leadership,
service, citizenship,
and character.
Ordinarily, this would be the time for each student to shake Miss Lazuri's hand, receive his or her certificate, and sign our National Junior Honor Society book. Instead, our inductees' certificates will be mailed, and our newest members will sign the book at an assembly in the fall. And now, we will see each inductee's photograph as I read their names. Sierra Abbasi, Marisol Babcock, Sydney Berkman, Gabby Blattner, Sydney Booth, Quentin Bronstein, Brody Card, Jacob Chu, Rem Coleman, David Connor, Nadia Dosher, Connor Easterling, Steve Gildersleeve, Holden Hanel, Liam Luther, Reese Rayburn, Ava Rojas Ache, Morgan Rule, Sterling Stevens, Mary Duval Sumner, Addie Yates. Congratulations to all of you. You have all worked so hard, and we are so proud of you. As Ms. Lazuri said earlier, this is not the end, but a beginning. As National Junior Honor Society members, you have an even greater responsibility to serve and lead our school, and I know that you will take this responsibility seriously. Thank you for joining us for this video. Ms. Lazuri and I cannot wait to congratulate you in person.